Hello and welcome to the first podcast of Bloodstained Studios. I'm joined by Ryan Kemp.
Hi.
Callum.
Hello.
And Guy.
Hiya.
And I'll be your host, Joe. We're going to just go over some of the films and highlights of last year. Watch out for them spoilers. Well, we went to go to the cinema a few times. We watched Trap, didn't we, last year? That was M. Night Shyamalan's thing. That was all right. It was a little weird. The acting in it was pretty good. You watched it. I know I watched it with you, didn't I? Oh yeah, I thought I watched it with you. No, I watched it with you. Yeah. You didn't like it. I thought it had good aspects to it. It was pretty cheesy at times. Like the woman detective in it is a little bit like funny. It's just like a 60-year-old woman going after this mass murdering person. Yeah.
But it's because of her education that she knows how to track these certain people down.
Yeah, she's a profiler. That's what she is, isn't she?
Yeah. She seemed good.
Yeah. Ridley Scott had a few last year. Obviously, of course, Alien Romulus first, I believe, came out. What was our thoughts on that?
Great film.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm going to be controversial and say I applaud any new Alien film that doesn't have Ripley in.
Oh wow! Why? Do tell. Why is this the case?
Moves the character. Moves the story along.
Okay.
It's a tough thing to do as well, to sort of like do that character, but she's dead. I do like Sigourney
Resurrection.
Weaver. I do like Scott, but yeah, I liked how it sort of it's moved the story along.
Yeah, it's different. I like how it followed on to the kind of had the tones of it connecting up with the first one. It's kind of it's like the aftermath, isn't it, of after when the first one, the kind of ship's all kind of derelict and they all kind of and then they just randomly find it.
Had some nods to the previous films as well. Sort of like sometimes the angles went to that sort of like classic Ripley alien pose thing.
Get away from her, you bitch.
Well. And a few other bits and bobs are there that threw back to the previous Alien films.
The android from the first one as well.
It is Ian Holmes, I think, the actor, isn't it? The one who's Bilbo in Lord of the Rings. That's who plays him, and he's like kind of in half on a table, isn't he? But he's sinister, and obviously there's something else going on. What did you think to the bloody mutation at the end?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Looked a bit like an engineer, like off of
Prometheus.
Yeah. Just the face, not the body. But I thought it was creepy and cool.
Are you a fan of those?
I don't know, but at that point I was sort of gone on a bit too long. Just felt a bit unnecessary that bit. I understand there had to be a twist.
Yeah.
But just sort of dragged it out a bit too much, I think, for me.
Yeah. And then Gladiator 2. He also got brought out a little bit more later in the year. What did we think to that?
I didn't actually have interest in watching that one, to be honest, after seeing it.
You hadn't seen it?
No.
You seen it yet?
Yeah, I've watched it.
What do you think?
You watched it? What did you watched it? Well, you watch it at home?
Yeah.
You seen it?
No.
Well, yeah.
No.
Well done.
Yeah. well done for not watching it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd give it probably a 6. Personally, out of 10. Sorry?
Just a copy.
Yeah, and a bad one.
Yeah.
So it does try to relay some of the same...
There's a lot of reminiscing, which I hate in a sequel anyway. I don't ever think that... you don't mind homage and subtleties, like as what Guy just said with Alien. There's subtleties. And because it's been so long, we're of a new generation where you wouldn't necessarily know what the android was if you were a new watcher. So it's kind of like a little subtle detail. Whereas with this, it's just a constant parallel to the other one.
You said there's flashbacks.
Flashbacks to Maximus, who obviously is not even in it, but it keeps showing you even footage from the first one. If I wanted to watch the first one, I would. I'd come to see a new Gladiator, and obviously then what I really didn't like about it, I think the most, was the lack of practical effort with the effects and things. Everything was all the right. I mean, contrast to the first one. The first fight that happens when Maximus steps into the arena. He has a fight with about 6 gladiators, and if you remember, there's a decapitation at the end, and he goes. I'm pretty sure that might be the "Are you not entertained?" bit, and crowd goes wild, and all that's practical effects, and it's amazing, and that's made in like the 1999, 2000, and then 24 years later, you've got CGI monkeys as a first battle. So there's a load of guys fighting tennis balls in a Coliseum. It's just shit.
Yeah. Bites one.
Oh my god, it's fucking ridiculous.
At one point, I will watch it, but I'm just not looking. I don't have high hopes.
And everyone's like biggest thing is the sharks, but I mean that they did do that at some point. They did used to fill up the.
Water,
They did have those sort of water battles. Yeah. So okay.
Must have been crazy to see.
But still, just and even the parallel from the original, the first fight. When they're fighting in the woods, and you've got the Germanic enemy of Rome that they're fighting, that's all amazing. And the catapults and everything, it's all practical stuff. Yeah. This one, it's this sea battle, everything's fake, all the waves, all the ships. It's just
a lot of money was spent on it. Then.
Yeah, well, it's been well received. I knew it wasn't going to be as good as the first one, and I knew he rushed it because he just wants to churn them out. But yeah, I was disappointed.
He didn't. Did he direct it? I thought he handed that to a director.
No, so he did direct that. Romulus, he didn't. Romulus was done by the same guy who did one of the. What's the guy with the Evil Dead? He did one of the. It's the same director. I think he's a South American guy. Yeah, one of the newer ones. He directed that. Whereas Ridley would have been there, but he produced it. Yeah. Anybody watch Beetlejuice?
Yeah, again another one I can't believe I forgot that. That was great as well.
Yeah. So sequels, I think that was pretty good. Yeah, you've seen it.
Still not seen it.
Oh, mate, you seen it?
Not yet.
William Dafoe's good in that. A good character. Funny.
Yeah. I mean, talking about William Dafoe, he's like
in everything.
Yeah, it's like dog shit everywhere. Not as a performance, absolutely not. William Dafoe is epic in just about everything I've seen him in the past year. But yeah, I think notably.
Every trailer I see.
Everything is, just not necessarily a main part, but just somewhere in the background, lingering. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
He is funny in that as well. I think I preferred it to the first one.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I've done well considering what the first one's story was. It doesn't really. It's just weird. There's not really a linear path to it. It's just kind of like out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is the essence of the ghost trying to, and them trying to get out of the house and all the rest of it. But then this one kind of carves a new depth and story to it, which is I think they've done quite well with it.
That's true.
Yeah. Deadpool and Wolverine came out last year as well.
Of course.
What did you reckon to that?
I enjoyed it as much as I thought I would. I was happy to see Wolverine again, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And the surprise cast as well that they had, which some got spoiled to me, but by other people that have seen it before me. But there was a few that I really did not expect coming in there.
Snipes and
Electra
and Tatum as
I didn't
Gambit.
really know that character massively anyway.
Did you not watch the animated series?
No.
They're on Disney. You can watch them all.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, they are. They are good. I think they've even tried to remake some of them. Not that they can.
Yeah, new season.
Is it any good?
I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Don't know. The originals are good. Did you see it?
No.
No?
I saw the trailer for it when I went to see other films.
Any interest?
Not really into Marvel films, really.
Yeah.
Although I did sort of see it was a bit of a jibe at Furiosa in the trailer.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah. I can't remember what it is
it's
now.
when they first go to when they're put in that place and it's deserty and they all come on those vehicles.
And he calls someone it, doesn't he? Does he?
That's
All right,
see
Furiosa or something
flame
like
on.
that. Yeah.
You made some kind of reference to that.
Yeah. I'm kind of like on a fence with Marvel because I don't particularly like a lot of the newer stuff, and I kind of like. I think I'm bored of it now. I think they kind of churn them out to an extent. But with that, I thought that was the best one out of the whole. What is it? 4 of them or 3?
That is 3. Deadpool-wise.
I think that was the best one, to be honest. And I like Hugh Jackman. I like the X-Men.
Yeah.
I think that was awesome when they used to be out.
Like the fact they made it still violent.
Yeah.
They didn't shy away from it. That was really good.
Yeah. What else have we got that came out? We watched Horizon.
Yes, we did.
That was very good.
Yeah, it was. That's a good Western.
That was and real shame. I don't know if you've heard of that. So I think it's like a remake of How the West Was Won. So the old classic Western. And who is it? It's Costner, isn't it?
Yeah,
Kevin Costner. He's kind of he's took a lot on with it. He wants to make a film that's kind of like either split into 3 or 4, and he's put a load of his money in it to get it going, but I don't think it's really done as well as he had thought. So now the second one's is already made.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have been released, I think, on the 7th of February. I checked that out today, actually. And
No word.
but I just don't know whether they're holding back because of marketing. I mean, obviously, when we saw it in a room where there's only 20 seats because they weren't even showing it anywhere, so it was impossible to see.
Well received, right?
I think critically, it has been. A few people have had issues with the way it's like, it's a bit staggered, isn't it? Because there's so much going on, so many narratives,
stories intertwining.
But I think that's a modern thing. Everybody's so when you're using your phone, everybody's kind of so used to like a mixture of stuff so often. I think it's quite an interesting thing. I've not seen anything like that, particularly in a Western.
Not really, not all the separate storylines, which I assume will link.
And everyone said, a couple of people said it was kind of confusing. I didn't think it was.
It's clear what was going on in each story.
Yeah. I recommend that. It was good. What else came out? We had Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
I think that was like kind of March time last year. March,
April.
April. Yeah, and it was earlier in the year. Have you seen that?
Not yet.
Oh.
I wasn't that fussed about the first one, really. I watched the first one and I struggled to stay awake. So I was.
Final duel, I thought.
Yeah. I preferred the first. I said that at the time, though.
Yeah, you said part of it was rushed, that big war.
I think the pacing was a little weird for me. I felt like they extended a lot with slow motion and like build up, and which was amazing because you saw great shots and the cinematography is outstanding. But I thought it lingered a lot on that, and then by the last 30 minutes, it's kind of when you kind of really see shit going down. And I thought like you could have really, the pacing's a little out with it. And I didn't like. I really liked the threat of the Baron in the first one. I felt like there was a real dark presence to him. By the time we got to the second, I felt that not through his own fault, but I just think the way he was shown, he lost his power a little bit, and it kind of just got rid of the threat.
Yeah,
you didn't feel it as much. And I'm a fan of a villain in a film. So
no, that makes sense. I'm more easily pleased, I think.
Worms are good.
The what?
Worms.
The worms.
Sandworms.
Oh right, yeah. When they're all. That's one thing in it though. He what's his name? Paul. Yeah, Paul. Yeah. He manages to train that big one, that big worm, like the biggest one in the desert. And it's like this massive scene, and it's all like, oh my god, look, he's the one. He's like, Neo.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the next shot is like the whole village on one of these worms. How the hell did they all get up there? What, did he make it stop? You know, stop, heal.
That's a good point. I'm sure they would be able to get them to stop once they're in control.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it just gives it a little pet. I don't know. Yeah, I'll give you some snacks. Or some spice, as they call it.
Yeah. Because they did show one stopped in the first one where they just got to the rock face.
It kind of lingers
Just-
over him,
it's
doesn't it?
looking at him.
And looks at him. Yeah,
Just sitting there.
that is true. Yeah. Have you ever read the book?
No.
No,
I've had the sticker collection in the 80s. I'm a fan of the 80s film.
Oh, right,
So,
okay, yeah. I found that one, it stayed with me. It's kind of really dark, the original. It's creepy as well. Some of the shots and some of the character, the Baron in that is pretty horrible as well, isn't he? Yeah, I read the book last year. It's something about bloody 9 months. It's like 1,000 pages or something. It's ridiculous. But yeah, to be fair, it is quite. There are a lot of similarities. They haven't really messed around with it too much, which is a good thing, I suppose, in that context. There's a couple of characters that aren't in it. I believe there's like a surveyor, I can't remember his name, of the world, who kind of works not really for anyone, and he reports things to the Emperor, and he kind of checks out the biodiversity of planets, and he's quite a big figure in it. So the Baron doesn't really like him, but neither does. But Paul's side's a little bit wary as well, so he's kind of like a character in it. Anything else? Anyone else has seen at the cinema that comes to mind?
I think the ones you brought back to my memory, I think they're at least the main ones that I remember most about.
There's Killers of the Flower Moon.
Was that last year?
Or was it the year before?
It might have come out the year before, but I
Yeah,
saw it.
I
I saw it.
Yeah,
last
that's
year.
fair enough. I mean, that
Yeah.
was bleak as fuck.
Yeah. Not as bleak as Threads, which I also saw last year.
I don't even know of
Oh,
that.
that about the nuclear war.
Yeah, it was a 1980s TV film that was only shown on TV like 4 or 5 times back then. And there was an anniversary screening in Nottingham that I went to. And from watching it, I can understand why I was sent to bed early when it was, when it was on TV. It captured the fears pretty well that we all had at the time. And just when you think things can't get any worse, they do.
All right.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's quite grim.
But there is a joke about prawn cocktail crisps in there, which is sort of like it's the only thing that's left to eat is prawn cocktail crisps. It's like, oh no.
That was great.
That would be great, yeah.
But then, yeah, like I say, just when things can't get any worse, there's only prawn cocktail crisps left to eat. And then Indiana Jones.
Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
What? I like that.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it was fun. It got all the ingredients in there that you want.
I agree. I don't think it was. I think it was met with some harsh criticism in some cases, not in all, but I really like that.
Yeah.
I love the whole time stuff that was involved with it, and he was fucking great. And he was an old man in it, which he is an old man.
You've grown up with him, and so you sort of like dealing with him at that stage in life.
One last adventure.
Yeah, I think they did really well with that. And I didn't, and as much as I hate, too much CGI, there is a little bit, especially at the start, but you expect it as well. When he gets knocked off the train, and you kind of
horses.
don't they make him younger in it at the start?
Yeah, it looks good though.
But that's necessary.
Yeah.
You know, you're obviously going to get a flashback, aren't you? So yeah, and because we've seen young Indy, we kind of I suppose we did have River. But you can't get another one for that.
And he doesn't want anyone else to play him.
After, is that what he said?
Yes.
Kind of dies with him.
Yeah.
Right.
So, apart from the new game that's just come out that was voiced by Troy Baker, but he was okay with that, considering it's a game, not the film.
Yeah.
It's not him.
Right. Yeah, and Mads. he's always great.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's in it, isn't he? He's like the villain.
Yeah. Didn't seem like he aged in that.
No.
Because he was on the train as well.
Yeah, you're
when
right.
you saw him later, his head like a little grey maybe, but
Yeah,
I didn't know if there was something.
that he'd done
Yeah.
to stay the same.
Yeah, but
Was there something?
no, I don't think so.
I can't remember. Because you are right, yeah. I'm sure there was something, because it did look identical. Yeah.
Yeah. Because on the trailer I thought, oh, something happened or he took something and that's why he's back.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I can't really remember that. Yeah. It was a while since I can't remember where I went to see it. I think I watched that in Hastings on a little. Just went to a random cinema there. Yeah. And Conclave. Has anyone seen that?
Oh,
Not yet.
Yet to see it, but I want to.
I saw it by mistake. I went to the cinema to go and watch one film, and I was sent to the wrong room, and I ended up watching that, and I wasn't disappointed.
It was what's his name? Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, he's ace.
Yeah, it does look
as
good.
always. Yeah.
Is it where they're deciding a new pope? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And things are going sort of.
Yeah. Do you know what it's called? What that tradition's called? I can't remember what it's called. Where the pope dies, and they all have to be locked in a room, and then they have to cast a vote each.
Yeah.
And then I think it's.
And they put smoke out the chimney
when it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously, as you can imagine, there's all sorts of corruption, tipping each other off, and all that kind of thing going on. So yeah, and the acting's really good in it from everybody. Is it Tucci? What's his name? You know the actor I mean?
Yes, I do, and it's not coming to my mind either now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know if you see him.
I always get him confused with Mark Strong. Is it Mark Strong, the other one, the English actor? He's American. I think they look kind of similar, but he was in. God.
Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Ah, bingo,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
He's good in it, and it's got the guy from Third Rock from the Sun in it, and all. He's good as well. He's the American, and he's kind of corrupt.
Right.
I watched another film called Lee. Have you seen that?
I've been recommended it.
Yeah,
it's
especially
about the lady photographer at Auschwitz or something, isn't it?
Yeah. About the So there was a woman who basically during the World War II, she was already kind of like a photographer, and then she ends up going on the front line, and she resides within within Britain, but she's not given leave to go on the front line because she is a woman, and she obviously objects, and she finds a way to do it by going through America.
Okay.
So she goes to America, and then they let her, and she kind of makes some iconic pictures, and the first person to kind of really document the imagery that we've probably all seen today of stuff that occurred at the time in the death camps. And she has a famous one where I believe Hitler had resided before. She manages to get herself, when he's died, she manages to get herself in this building where he'd been, and she has a bath in his bathtub, and there's a picture of him on the side, and it's kind of a famous kind of shot of her, and she's with a photographer. God knows, no, that's it. She manages to give a guard a few hundred packs of cigarettes, a few hundred cigarettes, and he just lets her in. While they're all in there, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, fine, go on." And she just goes into the bathroom and has this famous picture taken. It was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was quite. Yeah, I watched that in Lithuania. Few I've watched at home. So we've got I watched Heretic the other day. Anyone seen that?
Still to watch it as well, because it was early home release to rent, so it was expensive for a while, which stopped me because it's £15 to rent when it's still at the cinema, but it's early release, so I refrained from doing that. That's the only thing that stopped me there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's bloody hell, I can't think properly. What's his name?
Keep going.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very much him, you know what I mean? I was expecting a lot more kind of like puzzles and tricks of the house. They kind of, it's about these, it's kind of two Jehovah Witnesses that go to the house and they're trying to obviously bring him into the church. And he starts getting a little bit passive aggressive and giving them, spouting stuff that might kind of question their belief.
Yeah.
And then he slowly gets worse and it gets more sinister and it gets to the point where they can't leave and they can't get out of the house. And he gives them a choice and he writes two things on each door, on these two doors.
Yeah, that's all.
One of them is if you believe and the other one is don't believe. And he says one of those doors will get you out of this building. And actually what happens is they both lead to the same place, which is kind of in this kind of dungeon.
Yeah.
And he tells them then that there's a woman that's going to show them a miracle. And she kind of dies and she comes back to life. And he says, do you believe that happened? And he's trying to it's just basically him fucking with them the whole time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is good. It's nothing like I expected, like, well, you know.
Panic Room.
Yeah, like a bit. Now, I wasn't expecting Saw, but I was expecting a little bit more in that direction, you know, not like as silly actually horror as that is. But no, the performances are all really good all round. And another similar one that's obviously come out quite, not exactly similar, but that's Speak No Evil as well. That was quite good.
Very good. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
James McAvoy. Yeah. And he's the highlight in it.
Yeah.
He's fantastic in it.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, I thought he was brilliant.
I thought it was going to go into some weird, almost supernaturally stuff when the film started. I thought, why is he like this? But he's just a nutcase.
That's just all from him. Yeah. That's just how good he is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like he's scary. Like the end where there's a showdown. You seen it? Yeah. The end when there's a showdown, I thought like all the stuff up to that point was superior. I felt more uncomfortable when they weren't fighting for their lives because it's just slowly getting worse, isn't it? And it kind of just shows you how polite people are when they're actually being, you know, they could have, you know, they're taking stuff from them or whatever. They could have done anything.
I'm shouting at the TV. Do something. It's still there.
Yeah.
It's their kid. It's the kid's fault.
Yeah.
Have to go back for that stuffed toy.
For that little teddy. Yeah, and then it finds itself on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
No.
Giving you a lot of spoilers today, aren't we?
How it ends, so it's good.
I watched Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim as well, animated. Yeah. It was alright.
It was alright. That sucks.
I think I need to watch it again. I don't think I gave it enough. Yeah, enough.
Is it long? They're not normally.
A couple of hours. Definitely not 3. I just kind of don't know why they've made it. I don't know.
Someone must have convinced them somehow.
Yeah, and it breeds everything that it should, in the sense that there's so many. You know, it's got a lot of original casting, and I think Brian Cox is in it and voices over the king in it.
I bet he's really, really nice, isn't he? When he
Oh, he's very menacing. Yeah, I think it's kind of both factions aren't really. It's weird because he has a duel at the start and he kills someone because he by mistake he punches them and they die. He's the king, and then the son of that faction leader kind of says that he's going to get his revenge, and he outlaws him after killing his dad. Jeez. So it's not really that nice. But then obviously the story is that that their side is the good side, and they're getting attacked at the end by this son, and when he gets older or whatever. But yeah.
When is it set? Is it set before or after what the main films?
It doesn't coincide for sure. As I say, I think I need to watch it again.
Okay.
I can't. I didn't pay as much attention as I should have. But to be honest, it didn't really hook me from the moment I put it on. Really,
and it didn't seem linked to what we know.
Not
stories.
to Saruman's in it.
Okay.
And it uses Christopher Lee's voice, which is quite cool.
It must have given the rights to do so, kind of thing. Then.
What for future? I don't. Well, I would imagine there's something in contracts when you do any kind of thing like that. But I would imagine it will be just like stuff that's already been in the, because Peter Jackson had some involvement with it as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So I should think that he would just release that from his own film to then be able to just put it in. It's only a little like sentence.
It could have been cut content that they filmed and like he uses voice.
Yeah. I think he says, "How may I assist you?" or something like that. And he does say that in The Hobbit. "How may I assist you, my lady?" or something like that.
Okay.
When they're all getting attacked. Where they're all fighting the spirits and Sauron on that fucking top bit. "How may I be of assistance?"
I remember.
Yeah. Another one, what's Civil War? You like that?
Yeah. Again, I'm easily entertained. It's alright.
Yeah.
Characters annoyed me.
It was alright. Again, I didn't really give it much attention. It didn't really hook me. But, a Kneecap.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually saw it at the cinema.
Yes, you did.
Loved it.
It's an Irish band up and coming.
Already.
Right, yeah.
Already pre-existing.
Because they rapped in Gaelic, and Gaelic was made illegal in Northern Ireland. Because it was seen as a way of the terrorists communicating. So it's kind of about freedom of language as well as freedom of speech. Certainly gives a perspective that I've not thought about before. And the sense of humour is just brutal. No one is spared with that sense of humour.
No, but it's still funny.
Yeah. But tackling quite a strong, sensitive thing. Some of the things that are in that film, you like go, I don't believe how they're still walking with a couple of the things in there. Don't be a plot spoiler, but
yeah. That's all right. I think we spoiled a few for you.
Yeah. Well, and for the listeners as well. If they've read a Kneecap before, and
I'll add a couple of spoiler alerts on this podcast at the start and at the end. Pre-record that for sure. I watched. In fact, the last film I saw at the cinema was Wicked.
Definitely wasn't gonna go watch that anytime soon.
It's so long. It's like 3 hours. I just wasn't expecting that. Well, I didn't even check, because we went to go and see it, and it's like, what? No, the airtime's 3 hours.
Really?
I mean, yeah, it's about the Witch of Eastwick, who is obviously the villain in the main story of Wizard of the Oz, and it's kind of her origin story, and how that she wasn't a baddie. In the beginning, and there are reasons as to why she kind of went to that side, but there is a cliffhanger to suggest that it even has a "to be continued" literally written in the sky at the end. So yeah, they're going to drag it out even longer than 3 hours and make a second part to it. But it's done very well, so you can obviously see why they're going to do that. I think it's just because the pacing of how they've put in the musical elements to it, which is obviously something that they've taken from stage because it's a stage production prior, and then very little happens in the actual story itself for me. Like, it's not kind of, as a film, it's kind of okay. She's different as when she's born. She has a troubled relationship with her father. She ends up going to a school where she realises she has powers, and they some of the teachers like her, but she's not very well received within the student community. And then from that, she ends up going to meet the Wizard of Oz, the Wizard, who is played by Jeff Goldblum, and not all is well in that domain, and that's kind of it. So actually, when you say it like that, not a great deal happens, but it's all those little bits in between with the songs and the performances that kind of make it a lot longer.
But the original Wizard of Oz best.
Oh yeah, well, there's no comparison. What's that, 40s?
30s. Or
30s.
is
It's in colour.
Because Radmat had a celebration of it the other week, so I think it was. They did it its 75th anniversary, so.
Really?
40s then. Is it? No. That'll be 50s.
Do you want me to check?
That's a good idea. You can.
Yeah. I really thought it was 30s at the latest.
I'm going to say 42.
42.
Yeah.
Right, you two.
Or 90. No, all right. Okay. I think I've got 1937 written in my head, so I'm going to say that.
Well, I've got it right here.
All right. What is it?
1939. 30s.
Yeah. Close to 40.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Right. Yeah. So I'll wrap this bit up first.
Couple films.
Yeah. Go on.
The Substance.
Ah, right. Going down that horror route. Yeah. What did you think to that?
Just disturbing and weird.
Is that Demi Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where she
Margaret Qualley.
takes pills to be young again for showbiz.
Yeah.
I've yet to see it.
It's just weird. It's good, but it was more disturbing than Nosferatu. It was.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
I mean, I suppose with Nosferatu, it's kind of a little bit. It's opened up to more audiences to not be too scary. There are disturbances in it, but anyone can watch it.
Yeah.
But-
There's things like The Thing and The Blob, and it's sort of a bit like that.
Oh, right, okay.
Gory, but it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got, I think she might have been given a nod for an award. Which is-
on Globe or something.
Maybe even in an Oscar category. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe.
And The Memoir of a Snail, which is Australian, like stop animation.
Okay.
Came out last year.
Right.
Well, that's really good. Got like 9 out of 10.
Oh.
Well, that high, but nearly made me cry. So yeah, watch that.
Fair dues.
Yeah.
Oh, did we go over Furiosa?
No,
we
I
didn't.
thought you were saving that for film of the year or something like that.
Oh
so-
well, yeah. I think that might be there for me. Well, I don't know. That's a statement. I'd have to go through my brain and figure out what I'd actually seen all year. But that was fucking awesome for me. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you all watch it? You watched
Yeah.
it finally.
I've seen it twice.
I didn't watch it. I need to watch it again. I really liked it.
Great opening as well.
Yeah, it just has all the. Yeah, it just has all the ingredients for a great Mad Max film.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone got moany about the fact that Max ain't in it.
But he is. He is in it.
Who is he?
He's there's a scene where there's a black charger and a chap sat on top of a dune watching all the stuff.
Like at the start of the
And it's sort of like about halfway through the film, it's just sort of like
A nod to him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I
fair
didn't know.
dues. I didn't realise that. Yeah. I think it's just really cleverly done because the first one, Road, is like. I say the first one, not the originals, but the first one of the new lot. That's like shooting something. It's just a chase from the start to the end, and it's shooting something that happens in like a matter of hours. Whereas this is like a complete different take on that. It's a whole origin. So it's just. You know, you get that whole backstory that you wanted for the first one, and it kind of brings more to those characters. Yeah, and Hemsworth was fucking awesome. Isn't
I thought his style of the show sort of took away a bit. It sort of became a little bit the Chris Hemsworth show, and
what as opposed to yeah.
But then that sort of
Taylor Joy, that's her name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whether that sort of what did they say? Her lack of lines, could that mean that actually Furiosa doesn't need words and she's all action? And could it also be sort of like an industry thing with Furiosa's character showing feminine strength but still under the masculine oppression? Or maybe I'm just too educated.
For me, it took a while to get to where Anna Taylor-Joy was as well, because it showed a lot of her before she got to that age, didn't it, in the film?
Yeah, she's a child at the start, isn't she?
Yeah,
She
for a
kind of
while,
comes from another tribe
The green place.
that is like, which is obviously where they're trying to
I
find her.
like the twist though at the end where it's sort of the truth is that she shot him, but the legend is that she planted a tree on him and the tree has grown from him. And it's like, wow, I really want that to have been what's happened.
Is it actually nod to the one that is accurate? That did happen, or was it all just left open? How he died?
I can't remember. I think it's just left open, isn't it?
Yeah, it sort of like gives you the thing of, I think it shows you, doesn't it go sort of like the truth is, this is what happened, and it shows you shooting him. But then there is the legend that says that this happened.
Yeah.
And so it's up to you to decide, and I really want the latter.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
No, it is cool.
Yeah.
Right, well, so, I'll move along. And so up next, we've got a little thing from our friend Robin Smith. He's going to do us a little trivia quiz question for you all at home and all you listeners. So please stay tuned for that. Take it away, Robin.
Flying high on the express, turning men into a big mess, flying high on the express. Hello, my name's Robin Smith. This is the first episode of Here's One I Made Earlier. Can you guess what TV show or movie this song that I made earlier is from? Take it away, Paul.
And welcome back. Thank you for that, Robin. So now we come on to our short of the month. We will be discussing the following film. So it's 2021's titled Whore, #4, a comedy short directed by Florence Winter Hill, with IMDb credits to other shorts such as Baby Gay, The Gospel According to Gail, If You Go, Poppycock, Ellie, My Beloved Monster, and Afterlife. She's been also credited as a visual effects assistant for Star Wars The Last Jedi, which is interesting. The film revolves around Dasha, played by Sasha Alexis, a Russian actress that is conflicted with being typecast in her stereotypical roles and is resisting this to break through these stereotypes and get her dream acting role. The short is 7 minutes long, and for the duration, portrays Dasha displaying well-known acting techniques. There is a consistent undertone of comedy for which the title has been categorised. So, fellows, what do we think? How do we like it?
It was okay. It's more to the fact I wasn't massively entertained by it because I don't have any understanding of it anyway. That line of career being typecast, how frustrating it can be. It's hard for me to wrap my head around how I'd feel
Yeah,
Yeah, for me.
yeah.
I mean, she did a good job.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the character Dasher is pretty much the whole film, isn't it? Consistently throughout the whole time it's on.
Yeah.
It's always displays her. I can relate a little bit, having done some classes in acting as of recently, and there are a lot of things that she does in it that are kind of what we do to prepare ourselves before doing something. So it does resonate a little bit with me, and it is quite funny how it cuts quite quickly, displaying like the teddy bear watching her as she does certain things, and she's kind of trying to, and it kind of rings true to that whole typecast. More so, not necessarily just Russian, but I think accents in general. You know, when people have them, they are often like portrayed as being like, oh, they're a villain or they're something else. Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of feel for the character in it as well.
And the Russian prostitutes.
Yeah. Which yeah. I mean, there was obviously similarities to other things as well as that, but yeah. I mean, there is, yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, it sort of made me chuckle a little bit with when she's trying to escape the Russian stereotypical role, and she finds out that she's auditioning for a Russian role, and it's like, is there no escape from this? And it also sort of reminded me of when they recorded a podcast and sort of the things that you're doing and you're talking and having a conversation, and it's just you in the room, and how weird that kind of feels. So
yeah, definitely. I think it definitely got its message across. I just think you're probably a little bit right that it's a little bit like, if you don't really understand that type of work, then maybe it wouldn't resonate as much with you. But yeah, I still found it kind of funny, even outside of that. I thought it was really good. So I think that's one to. Well, what would you rate it?
Rate it, like out of 10?
Yeah, for other shorts that you've seen. I think the pacing is really good, considering it's 7 minutes.
Yeah,
It's just, and again, she's done really well acting in it because it's consistently just her, and she gets her message across quite well. So I think in that way, the way the dynamic obviously would have been through the director and the actress, they've done quite well in that regard. And the lighting looked pretty good. You'd be more of a master of that, but I think it looked quite bright, didn't it? Yeah, and quite snappy shots. It's quick, fast-paced acting. I think I'd give it a solid 7, personally.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
6. I'm
6.
terrible at rating as well. Nothing to 10.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Okay, fair enough.
Didn't really laugh that much.
No? All right. Okay. All right, okay, so next bit. We're going to now pick from our sorting hat.
Better be Gryffindor.
So we'll have some content for our next session next month. These will all be shorts. Some can be features, depending on what's descripted. So I shall go first, and I'll read it out. So I'll see what I've got in this little sorting hat. Okay, so I've got All Things Lynch. So obviously following the passing of his death this month, I will look for any content I can bring to the table next month relating to him. I'll try for shorts. I think I've got one in mind. Guy?
Bloody rabbits bit my fingers. 3 comedies from 3 different decades. It can be shorts as well, so.
Okay.
So they can be feature length.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason why not.
There we go. Alright, mine is an animated remake.
An animated remake.
Yes.
Okay. Callum.
That's a funny sounding hat the papers have actually.
Talks too.
I know, Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I'm happy I got this one. This one I can do.
What you got, Cam?
Anything noir after the year 2000.
Okay, right. All right then, fair enough.
Animated remake. Yeah, I'll be fine with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
And we've also got one left over in the hat, which is the short of the month, which we will all watch prior to the session next month. We'll give that to another guest next month that will be present then. That'll be a film that we'll all watch before, and then we'll discuss it, such as the one we just did. Okay, so I'll carry it along. I'll hand you over to our think tank Guy for some music trivia, and he'll give you a little few facts.
Come on, guy, let's do this.
Hello, today I'll be discussing Smack My Bitch Up by the Prodigy, which was used to great effect in the running scene of the Kneecap film. It provided a sense of energy and anticipation as to whether he's going to get to safety or not. But the song itself was voted the most controversial song of all time by the Performing Rights Society in 2012 due to its lyrical content being associated with domestic abuse against women. Something the Prodigy deny, stating the lyric means to do something with vigorous intent. And the video caused a stir with being shot in a first-person view and from what appears to be a masculine gaze showing acts of drug-taking and violence, but has a twist at the end that seems like a response to the critics' views of the song lyrics. The lyrics are sampled from Give the Drummer Some by Ultramagnetic MCs as a tribute to the rapper Kool Keith, who was a favourite of the Prodigy's at the time. Incidentally, Kool Keith hasn't been criticised for writing the lyrics, yet the Prodigy have. The Prodigy have recently adjusted it for their live show, with Maxine repeating the line, "Change my pitch up, change my pitch up." And that's the end of that.
Come on, guy, let's do this.
Thanks very much, Guy. That's the facts of the month, based on Prodigy. Nice. Right, so now it's time of the show where we discuss our film of the month. We aim to have this released in the specific month that we do this podcast. I'm pretty sure the release date of this was just before January, so it kind of seeps into December, but what the hell. It's a good one, so I'm just going to give a little brief summary of what it is. So we are going to be discussing all things Nosferatu. And that was selected by myself. It was directed by the USA-born Robert Eggers, with notable works such as the 2016 The Witch, 2019 The Lighthouse, 2022's Northman. As with the director's work, he has seamlessly put himself on the map as the respective filmmaker that he is, often putting his foot down with all too important accuracies within the frame, using old, almost forgotten linguistics, crafting ships, and using old lenses. Nosferatu, adapted from Friedrich Wilhelm's controversial 1922 German silent Gothic tale, with obvious similarities to the Bram Stoker's 1897 book version, Dracula. Writer-director Eggers' grim, Gothic, ghoulish tale fires off with Thomas Hutter, played by Nicholas Hoult, an aspiring estate agent down on his luck, tasked by the estranged employer Herr Nock, played by Simon McBurney, to seek out new client in Pearson in Transylvania. Leaving his fearful wife Ellen Hutter, played by Lily Rose Depp, in the hands of his close friends Frederick Harding, played by Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and Anna Harding, played by Emma Corrin. All is not well on both fronts, for Ellen is plagued with fearful visions resulting in almost possessive states, and her friends are left with no choice but to seek out guidance from Dr. Wilhelm, played by Ralph Ineson. But this is beyond his field. He seeks guidance from another, a disgraced genius professor, Albin L. Eberhart, if I can say that right, played by William Dafoe, whose unconventional specialities align heavily with the occult. However, for his displeasing and rejected methods, he seems to be ahead of the crowd, offering heavy insight with the odd things that are occurring. The road for poor Thomas is equally unpleasant, travelling over the vast, harsh, bitter climates as he treads closer with warning signs at every turn. Firstly, in a gypsy camp, where he has a violent dream of the habitants hunting and burning the dead's places of rest, only to awaken with everyone vanishing. Where they once dwelled, on the road, again, Thomas, without warning, feels his client's residence almost pulling him in uncontrollably, scooping him up from his road and into a carriage that escorts him to the destination without request or warning. Once arrived at a heavy gate, his lord, Count Olark, played by Bill Skarsgård, a grotesque corpse, meets him and elusively lures him into his castle. It becomes apparent to Thomas that all is not well, feeling with each passing day his life force draining from him. Alien marks appear on his body and foul dreams haunt him. He attempts to escape, barely getting away with his life, but for Olark his work is done and his foul deeds become known. He is plotting to bring death and destruction to the town of Wisburg, Germany, where poor Ellen Hutter is powerlessly drawing the vile creature Olark in. Right, and so everybody, what is your thoughts on Nosferatu?
I thought it was great. Yeah. It's a strange art house-like. I can't remember if there's a proper name to call something art house or experimental. Or
yeah, absolutely.
But I really liked it. I really liked everything, especially the location as well, the castle.
Yeah, that was filmed in Czech Republic, and so the castle scenes are all filmed in a place called Pearson. I can't even pronounce that. Pearson Castle, which was identical to the Werner Herzog's 1979 version.
Oh.
So he's used the same location from that film. But obviously the original, controversial, as I mentioned earlier, from the 1922, that was controversial at the time because, of course, Nosferatu is virtually somewhat identical to Dracula, only with some slight differences. Mostly all the names are all different. And you can notice, I've read the book and there are a couple of things that aren't in it. And at the time, I believe the Bram Stoker estate didn't give him license to make that film, and hence why it's controversial that he did it.
Because there could have been trouble on foot there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they may have even sued him at the time and it was all controversial. Yeah.
Jeez.
Have you seen it yet?
Not yet.
Oh, spoiler alerts for Guy. Again.
It's a good film, I thought.
I know someone else that's seen it. There's a big fan of the original, and they give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I've not even seen the original.
I have. It's not my taste either. That film that old. No,
Yeah, well, it's quite iconic the way it's shot and obviously and
We've
everything.
all seen scenes off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, got it over there.
Was it silent?
Yeah, silent. Yeah, he was considered a master of silent in the silent era. Yeah, but
the Nosferatu, the new one, especially the design of Olaf. Is that
Olark.
Olark. I thought that was wicked. You see his whole body in some parts, don't you?
Yeah, that's all the suit
Yeah.
as well. That's kind of all practical, pretty much.
It looks cool.
And the voice, which is another thing. When I remember watching it and thinking, "There's no way that's his voice," and apparently, it is. Yeah,
He did a very good job. I didn't notice him.
yeah. He worked with like an opera guy to kind of lower his octave.
Oh.
You know, so he could kind of get lower.
Yeah.
And he apparently worked on the voice for like, I don't know, something like 6 weeks or something stupid, just trying to get it right. Yeah, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
And it is good. And all the breath work
Yeah.
that you in the film, he's not breathing. He's just he only uses the breath to speak because he doesn't need to breathe.
Right.
So that's quite cool as well. When you actually know that when you watch it, it's kind of like every time he's spoken for too long, he takes in like a big breath to speak. That's all he uses it for. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a breath. I don't really. But it's cool. Anyway, it's a cool little effect. Also, a couple of things as well. I quite like the fact that he used like a practical effect with the snow.
What? He did?
Yeah. So the company, I believe, or the powers that be, wanted to use CG, and he, as he does, which is why I think he's great, he kind of put his foot down and said, no, we've got to use this other kind of real stuff. But I think there was something, there was a problem with it because the way it's like got a chemical in it or something like that, so for health and safety reasons they couldn't use it. But then he found a film that he was watching maybe from the 1940s or something, and they used potato peels and they treated them a certain way, whereby it then appears when it comes down from the sky, it kind of floats the same way as snow. So all of that is practical. So that's really cool.
Expensive.
Well, no, again, not really. I mean, it sounds like a lot of money, but the budget was 50 million, which for a modern day blockbuster hit with that many, that caliber of actors, is kind of low, really. I think it's a lower budget than The Northman, which I think went to like 70, 80 million. Yeah. It is his most successful one so far in the box office.
It's deserving.
The whole lot that he's done so far. From last week, I found some sources that suggested that it had reached a $155 million mark, so quite a markup on 50 million. But yeah. How do you think it compares to the others? Have you seen any of the other ones he's done?
I've seen Northman. I really liked that one. I saw part of The Witch.
I've never said that's the only one I've not seen.
Yeah, and I've not seen.
Really? Have you seen any of these others?
Man. I haven't seen The Lighthouse.
Oh, you've got to watch some of them. I love The Lighthouse.
Looks weird, but too weird.
I think that's still probably my favourite. It's just crazy.
I'll have to check it out.
It is mad. And obviously, William Dafoe being a regular for pretty much all of them. Is he in The Witch?
No.
So he's in all the others then?
I think it's good.
Yeah, so he's in all the other three. Which, he's
He
always
plays that Joker sort of type person, but to entertain people. What's it called? I can't remember. Not Joker, Gesture. No, I can't remember.
Jester.
What it's called. Jester.
Yeah. He definitely brings a different thing, because if you can only kind of have any modern day comparison, you would kind of compare it to Coppola's Dracula from the 90s. But he's basically what Anthony Hopkins is in that.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And they're absolutely so different. They're like polar opposites.
Yeah, they are.
He's got a wackiness to him.
He's nuts,
isn't he? Yeah.
kind of,
And because I think it cuts through the film really well, because it is dark and gothic, and there's a lot of practical stuff going on, so it's believable, and that's why they are so good. But then he just comes in and kind of cuts through it a little bit and gives you a bit of humour, even though he's talking about sinister things, but it adds to his madness, and I think that's really, it's great casting, really, because it's different. You've not seen it in that way before, in my opinion. What do you think of the acting in it in general from all the others?
From the other cast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I really had an issue with anyone.
You got a star of the show?
It's the first time I've seen Johnny Depp's daughter.
She was amazing.
Yeah, it fits.
She was really good.
Fits.
Yeah, I thought she was really good. Yeah, Aaron Taylor-Johnson I think was really good as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot I was in it.
I felt his scenes were really believable, especially
and he had it the worst out of everyone.
when he loses it, kind of, in a way, obviously for obvious reasons.
At least he dies, at least out of his misery at that point.
Yeah.
I thought when he died it was a bit weird because he was laying on top of his wife, but she had like a leg up because he was kissing her.
Yeah,
and then you see when he's dead on top of her.
Yeah.
It looks a bit weird.
It is weird though, isn't it? There is a lot of things like that in it. It's the same with like I said about the camp when he goes there and then they all vanish.
Gypsies,
Yeah, what's that all about? You know, it's a weird.
Yeah.
And there's, because I don't know how it's been interpreted because I've not seen any other versions. So obviously I know in Dracula, obviously Dracula has wives and there's other vampires.
Yeah, that's
and the others change. So in this, they kind of allude to the fact that they might, but they burn the bodies, don't they? Before you've even seen anything.
Yeah.
But there's no evidence of any other ones. It's just him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really do it for the idea to bring about death walkers. It's just about death. He's kind of like a plague.
Yeah.
And he's a plague bringer with all the rats and all that, which is kind of cool as well, because that's all practical as well. Apparently, got 5,000 rats. Yeah. Which is pretty mental. I really like the one shot in it as well, like kind of halfway through when Thomas is on the road. Assumed for a long time, and then just after the camp, he gets scooped up off the road by the carriage, and you don't see anything. But the way they move the camera, it's kind of like a force is kind of just putting him in the carriage. And it does like a 360 in the air, doesn't it? And then all of a sudden,
I can't remember the scene.
he's inside the carriage. Well, you know the bit where he gets picked up.
And there's no one in
He goes to which is also a great shot because it's like a 4-way road, isn't it?
Yeah,
and there's woods everywhere, and it looks really cool how it's been displayed. But then all of a sudden, this carriage is just there, and he just gets kind of scooped up.
Yeah.
So it's almost like as he's kind of getting closer and seeing the warning signs, because all the people say, "Oh, don't go there, don't go there." It's almost like he hasn't. The closer he gets, the less of a choice he's got. He's almost kind of. He's got him. Yeah. I also like the fact that obviously in what differs to Coppola's version as well, and indeed Dracula, is the way they change him to make him look presentable in public, whereas in this, he just stays like a walking corpse the whole time.
Yeah.
He always looks fucked up. You know, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
He's not so irresistible to women.
No, well, it's his power that's only present to the women, isn't it? When they're kind of in that state, they kind of anyone he has the power when they all go, because Thomas has a vision as well when he's kind of been lured to stay and keep him there, and he doesn't quite know what's going on. Yeah.
And he bites the chest this time around.
Yeah. From the front, isn't it?
Like direct from the heart.
Not from the neck.
Yeah.
There's little subtle differences, which is cool.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me. What did you say? Do you think it ended well as well?
I'm going to say yes. I can see, but it's been well received audience-wise, which because I think he doesn't always go down a path that you'd think he would when you watch one of his films, and they're all like that. Like you say, they are art housey, and I think that he doesn't do it because that's what the public wants. He does it in his own way.
Yeah, it's his thing. Yeah.
So at the end of that, you kind of think, oh, it's going to be a big showdown.
Yeah.
It's all going to kick off, and it doesn't really happen. But it doesn't. But it's done in such a way that it's kind of
it's not nothing.
It's still poignant and it's good as well because
first time you see proper colour as well.
Defoe knows it's going to happen.
Yeah.
He knows that's what's adds to the madness of him as well, doesn't it? And his intellect involved with the occult. He knows what needs to happen, but no one else kind of does.
Yeah.
I think they could have explained it a bit more.
What, the backdrop of who he is and everything?
Yeah. And why that gets rid of the killer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's been haunting her forever.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's only when she gets with Thomas that it kind of goes away a bit, and then it comes back.
Because doesn't she say, "This is my depression"? That's what it is. She says something partway through when she's having a freak out. She's saying, "It's my bad experiences in true form" or something like that. She makes a reference like it's part of her.
Yeah. Yeah, how it's never left her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also to note, it's been nominated for 4 Oscars. Production design, hair and makeup, I think that's a given. Cinematography, again, very good in it. And costume design, which I guess that's a given as well. I don't know, I think it could have probably been given a little bit more. Screenplay and director, probably. It is amazing. And he's done well, and he always does more things practical rather than just relying on CGI, which is the battle at the moment with modern film, I think. A lot of the wolves in that are real.
Yeah, well, it didn't look dodgy or anything.
No,
so
I think I remember seeing a little a blog thing of him saying, like, if you notice it, then it's shit. Kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's like the fact that you didn't think to question it is how it should be.
Okay.
And you don't, do you? You see all those rats, you see the wolves, and like there's no... Unlike Gladiator 2, where there's even a bit in that, when I watched it in the cinema, and halfway through there's a bit where there's a dog.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that's CG as well.
A dog?
A dog.
Was it doing anything in
No,
particular?
just walking through a residence.
Oh.
It's his mother in her house or whatever it is, dwelling. There's
CG.
quite a big dog, and I'm sure it was CG.
Something about it looks funny.
Yeah, and I was like, well, surely that's not hard. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, I get it's going to be pretty tricky to get some sharks in a
I will
coliseum,
watch it.
but and a rhino.
Yeah.
But-
I will watch it.
You know, a dog. Right, yeah. So I guess we'll add it to our little board, which we'll do every single month. How would you rank it out of 10 overall, Ryan?
Yeah, like I say, I never give anything a 10, but
Bear in mind, acting,
yeah,
directing, cinematography, put it all into one basket and kind of come to it. 8, okay, right. You can put point if you want.
I'll just keep it
Solid
an
8, solid
yeah.
8, okay. Callum?
7.9.
Yeah.
The only reason, because I felt a bit underwhelmed.
Okay.
I don't know. I kept hearing loads of stuff about it from you and everyone.
Well,
Oh, so
yes.
it got hyped up.
It's your opinion, like, it doesn't matter.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think we're missing something a little bit.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think, what am I going to go with? I can't deny the acting in it. That's solid.
Yeah.
The shots are solid.
Location.
Yeah, it's true to the original.
So it's a story that you're thinking about.
Yeah, which...
It wasn't even long either. It wasn't that long.
No, well paced. Yeah. I can't... Yeah. I'm going to give it an 8.6.
High score.
That is a high score, isn't it?
What did IMDb give it?
Good question. Let's have a look.
Because there's one thing I have not checked about. I think the only thing I checked is, did it make enough money? Did it do well in terms
It
of-
has massively
Yeah.
tripled its
which
budget.
is good.
Yeah, I looked as well at the money made on the ones before. I think the only one that was a little bit questionable was the Northman on box office.
Right.
I might have broke even. I don't know when I looked. But then there was also that not that it matters. Is it good? Is it not? Right? But just for knowing. The Witch, I think he made for 3 million and it made something like 30. So that's quite a big
Yeah.
turnover. And The Lighthouse, that was something like 6 and he got like 18.
18. So it did
So-
the least. Yeah.
But I think with that film, it's exactly, if you can make money from it, that's great because it is such an arty kind of piece.
Yeah,
Like
it
it isn't going to appeal to all audiences,
No,
but
not
it's
that
but
one.
I loved it. But you can understand why people would be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Because it is mental. But great. So they gave it a 7.9.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you get.
It is. Well done. What do you work for IMDb? Conflict of interest here. Get the hell out. What about Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't like Rotten Tomatoes.
97.
That's very good.
That's
What about
okay.
the audience?
That's well high. That is
Yeah, okay, I'm surprised by that.
What about the audience score?
87.
It's still high.
Yeah.
Very.
Oh,
Oh no, sorry. That's the original.
they got Is that high rate?
It's huge, that film.
I understand
Because it's just so groundbreaking at the top for its time, and it's very iconic. It's still to this day. If you were to see the image of that Nosferatu, you know exactly what it's from.
Yeah, that's true.
73 audience score, 85 all round.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's not
right.
that bad. Right. I shall add that to the board.
Get it on.
Yes. So what we've got 7-9 from Cal. 8. Did I say 8-6?
Yeah.
I did. And you said
I said 8.
You said a solid 8. Right, and then best actor in it.
It's Johnny Depp's daughter.
Lily Rose Depp. Callum.
Same. Yeah.
I concur. Right, we'll get that on there. With one word, how would you describe the film?
Atmospheric.
Okay. Callum?
Moody.
Moody.
Same sort of thing.
I'm just going to go in with...
You can use no used word, it doesn't have to be out there.
I'm just going to say gothic.
Gothic, okay. I thought I'd see a lot of goths at the cinema, but I really didn't.
I was expecting it as well, yeah. Right, so that's our film of the month then. And with that comes the end of the show. So please tune in to the next one, and thanks for listening. Next month, our film feature that we'll be discussing will be Marvel New Captain America 4 Brave New Worlds. So we'll see how that goes. I think we'll have a difference of opinions, because some of us like Marvel, some of us don't.
Yeah.
So thank you again. Thanks for everyone from Bloodstain Studios and friends. It's a farewell from me, your host Joe, and
Ryan, goodbye. Yeah.
Goodbye from Callum.
And see you from Guy.
thanks a lot. Cheers.